What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, and the overall market. I'm also going to talk about some very important things that Cathie Wood and Elon Musk said about the Tesla share price, why they're very bullish for the long term when it comes to their new developments, and what I expect to be happening as time goes on. So just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention an 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends very soon in just a couple of weeks. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with Tesla. Tesla's trying to hold its daily 20 EMA right now around this 243 area. We saw this nice dip that we were talking about in the morning. We got this very, very nice dip all the way down to about 239, just under 240, only to see buyers defend 243. So that's what's happening so far. Now, amidst this news, I just want to say there was a little bit of weakness in Tesla's Chinese sales, which is completely normal, guys. Nothing too surprising, but that's part of why Tesla saw a bit of a dip. And then the overall market also dipped in the morning, only to get bought back up. And now we're just kind of consolidating in a range. And I think Tesla's going to kind of like follow that trend as well. So the question now remains: what's happening with Cathie Wood and Elon Musk? What are they saying about Tesla? Why do they think it's going to be worth a crazy amount of money in the future? So Cathie Wood and Elon Musk are both saying that Tesla is going to be worth over $7 trillion in its market cap. That is more than a 9x of what we're currently worth. Putting the current share price or the share price at that time would be closer to about $2,250 in today's numbers. So, is it unrealistic to think that? What is Cathie Wood's view and why is she still saying this? The answer is because she believes that Tesla is going to be unveiling some new products that are going to be generating trillions in revenue as time goes on. And as the market's very forward looking, it's going to lead to a big surge in investments. So she's saying this because of their autonomous vehicle strategy, and the robotaxi business is going to be the large majority of earnings that come from that. I went over in a previous video her overall projections based off what ARK is looking at when it comes to robotaxi. My only concern about this prediction is the fact that they're saying by 2030, under the impression, okay, that the robotaxi is launched very, very quickly. So this is based off of bets that they're going to solve autonomy within the next couple of years, launching it as soon as next year, if not a little bit later than that. Within 1 to 2 years, if they do launch it, she believes that they could be achieving, multi-trillions in market cap. I personally believe that she is right about the price target. I think that the price of Tesla will reach the trillions. Sorry, not the price. The market cap is going to hit the trillions, bringing the price into the thousands for Tesla. So the price is going to hit the thousands. But the issue with this prediction, saying it's going to be 2029 or 2030, it doesn't make that much sense because we can't make that entirely a more objective claim until we know when the robotaxi is truly going to be coming out. So I think, yes, we're going to be going to the thousands per share for Tesla, but it depends on when the robotaxi is launched. What if it does not launch till like 2028, 2029? It could take many years, right? It may happen towards like the second half of the decade, maybe a little bit later than that. So this all hinges upon the assumption that the robotaxi is going to come out very, very quickly. I don't think we're ready for that yet. It may take many years to get there. So it all depends on that. However, nonetheless, I do believe that once we officially get some kind of robotaxi that's launching, we start to see revenue building. Eventually, as revenue starts to increase, as the robotaxi gets better and better and more efficient, I do believe we will reach a $7 trillion market cap. Do I think it's going to happen by 2030? It could happen. It's possible if everything goes the right way. If not, it could take a little bit longer. It could take many years longer. But nonetheless, guys, it's still very bullish for Tesla because that is still almost a 10x return on your money within, a decade, right? That which is still pretty crazy good money to be making, right? I think that's very, very awesome. And I think that that will most likely be the case for Tesla, but I'm not too sure about that time frame. It all depends on the timing it takes Tesla to really launch these new products. There's also been a lot of talk about the new refresh for the Model Y. Tesla has not confirmed this yet, but there's been a lot of rumors about that. So we'll see if that ends up getting launched over the next couple of months. Besides that, Tesla is projecting 20 to 30% growth for 2025 as a whole. I hope Tesla achieves that by ramping up their production capacities in their different gigafactories, especially in Europe. I think that's going to be very important. Europe and China, but mainly Europe right now. Sales are slumping a bit, but hopefully things do improve by next year. So, anyways, going back to Tesla, we're getting bought back up on the daily time frame. I'm going to be looking at this 250 area as our resistance. and also 252. So don't forget about those two levels. And then if we don't end up holding above those, do not forget about this support to watch around 245 and then 243 below that. So make sure you watch all these levels very carefully. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, there are buyers trying to defend Tesla. It dumps quite a bit, though. We were calling out a dump that was coming. We were correct about that. And now buyers are back. So we dumped down to 240. We're back to about this 248 to 250 resistance. So watch 250, then 252 near the 20 EMAs are resistance areas, and then 246 is support. I presume that Tesla is just going to be range bound between the low 250 area and 246 for the majority of the day. There's not really much going on because volume is slowing down. So that's what I presume is going to be the most likely case. As far as SPY and the others go, I think SPY is also going to be kind of range bound right here. We have resistance to watch for at 572, not to mention 575. Our support's at 570, not to mention 569.35, which is the 4-hour 200 EMA. So I think that we're just going to be range bound, going back and forth between 570 572 for the majority of the day. If we do break past 572.8, though, it is possible to get a bigger pump, but as of right now, we remain range bound. ES is also kind of range bound. It did dump quite a bit. It came down to my target exactly. I said in my morning video I was expecting 57.40 to be tested. We tested that only to get bought back up. So now we're just shuffling between 57.50 and 57.80. I presume we're just going to be stuck for the timing, so we'll have to see how things go. Break 5800, I turn more bullish, and then lose 57.20, I turn more bearish. Otherwise, we're just range bound between 57.80 and 57.60. We're just kind of range bound for now, so give this more time to develop. For NQ, we pumped, not NQ, sorry, Nvidia, we pumped all the way up to about this 140 area. Then we got this big rejection back down to 135, the exact level we called out in my morning video. And then we got bought back up again. So now we're bought back up. So I think we're just going to see a lot of shuffling around 138. If we do close above 138, that's going to be a good sign for tomorrow. It could actually push a little bit more back up towards the high of the day. And if we end up losing that, if we don't hold above 138, I do think we might be dipping. So I presume that 138 is going to be the most important level as our EMA is aligned around there. So right now it's getting bought back up, so there might be buyers trying to push it back up. Might try to get back up to 140 later, but that depends on if 138 holds. So for now, I'm just looking at that level. For Bitcoin, we dumped quite a bit. So now we're just consolidating. So look for some consolidation between 69,200 and about 68,000. We're just range bound. So give this more time to develop. For NQ, NQ has 20,200 as resistance, not to mention 20,250. Our support to watch was at 20,000 flats, and we're just kind of trading sideways in the range for the time being, not really doing a whole lot. I also want to mention that after this big dump that formed right over here, NQ made a lower high right here, so we got to get back above 20,300. Otherwise, this is just going to consolidate and maybe even see some downside. So there is still some weakness on NQ. With the QQQ, we got this dump to 484, which is what our target was, but then we got bought back up. So buyers are now defending the markets. We'll see if we close above 488 or not. If we do that, I'm looking for 490 as our target now. We're seeing buyers defending. But overall, guys, we're still stuck between these EMAs. 484 is the main support. 490 is the main resistance. We're range bound, even if we do push a little bit higher. For Apple, we dumped quite a bit. We saw this thing dump down to about the 219 area. Now there are buyers defending it. We're back at 222. If we break and hold above 222, we're looking for that gap fill for 222.6. So it could attempt to rebound. I'm going to give this some time to develop, so we'll see how it goes. For the IWM, we dipped a bit. I was worried it would dip a little bit lower as we were below our 200 EMA. Now there are buyers defending it. So there is a range right here between 222.5 and about 218. We could be looking for an attempt to get back up to about 223, and we'll see what kind of reaction we get. So give this the time it needs. For others out there, we have Coin. Coin's on a bit of a downtrend here. We do have that gap to fill. It might get a little bit close to fill this gap towards 176 before it tries to bounce. There could be more downside coming. For Amazon, we did dip quite a bit. I did call out 195. I said previous resistance becoming support could be tested. We came close to 195 flat, and now it's just seeing some buyers defending it. So look at 198 as resistance, 195 as support. We're just range bound on Amazon. It's going to likely remain range bound for now. For Meta, it's just following the trend. It did dip all the way down to our target of 559, and now it's getting bought back up. So look at 570 and then 574 as our resistance areas. We'll see if we reclaim 570 or not. If 568 breaks, they'll look for an attempt to get back down to 566. Otherwise, it's kind of range bound. I do see an attempt to get back up to 570 though. Microsoft is just shuffling between 412 and 405. So I think we're just stuck in the middle. Might be dipping closer to about 405. So we'll see how it goes. For Google, well, we're on a bit of a downtrend here. We're looking for 170s for support. If that fails us, we're looking for basically 168. Then we have 172 as resistance. Look for a test of 170 again, but it's just range bound. It's not doing much. Volume is very slow right now. It's not really getting much volume, so that's why it's just kind of consolidating. So it needs more time to develop. Anyways, for Tesla, it's attempting to rebound a bit. It did dump like we were talking about in the morning, but then it got bought back up after that. So with buyers defending it, we'll see if we can try to get back up to 250 or not. Otherwise, I still think Tesla is going to consolidate quite a bit alongside the markets. Just be careful. We do have the election coming up tomorrow, so it's going to be the next big factor, and we'll see what that leads to for Tesla. So be very patient nonetheless. With that being said, I thank you all for listening. Make sure you watch the levels I call out, and I'll see you guys very soon in just a couple of hours for another update. Thanks again, and peace out.